the train moved along the tracks at midnight, a feeling of discomfort crept over me. I was the only passenger in the carriage, and the rhythmic sound of the train's wheels against the tracks was the only thing interrupting the silence. But tonight, as the train made its way across the bridge, I could not shake off the feeling that something was not right. The darkness outside was thick, and the only light was coming from the dimly lit train cabin. I looked out of the window, trying to make out any shapes or figures in the distance, but there was nothing but darkness. Suddenly, the train came to a halt, jolting me out of my thoughts. I could hear the sound of the engine shutting off, and the silence that followed was deafening. I peered out of the window, trying to find out what could have caused the train to stop. As I looked around, my eyes fell on a figure standing at the end of the bridge. It was a man wearing a long black coat and a wide brimmed hat, and his face was obscured by the darkness. He seemed to be looking directly at me, his piercing gaze sending shivers down my spine. I quickly looked away, my heart pounding in my chest. Who was this man, and why was he staring at me? I tried to rationalize. Maybe he was just a passenger who had gotten off at the wrong stop. As I sat in my seat, my mind raced with different scenarios. Was he a murderer lurking in the darkness? Or was he a ghost haunting the train and its passengers? Just then I heard a loud knock on the window next to me. I jumped in my seat, and my heart was beating even faster. I slowly turned my head towards the window, my eyes widening in terror as I saw the same figure standing outside, his face now visible in the dim light. He had a sinister smile on his face, his eyes gleaming with malice. I could feel his presence seeping into the train, enveloping me in a feeling of dread and fear. Panicked, I grabbed my bag and made a beeline for the train's exit. I just needed to get away from that man. As I reached the door, I heard a voice behind me.
Where do you think you are going?
I turned around, my heart in my throat, and saw the man standing just a few feet away from me. Before I could react, he lunged towards me, his coat billowing behind him. I let out a scream and ran as fast as I could, my heart pounding in my ears. I could hear his footsteps behind me, getting closer and closer. Just as I reached the end of the bridge, I felt a sharp pain in my back, and everything went dark. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed, surrounded by concerned faces. I tried to sit up, but a sharp pain shot throughout my body, forcing me to lie back down. What happened? I asked. You were found unconscious on the bridge, a nurse explained. Luckily, a passenger saw you and called for help. I had to uncover the mystery of the man on the bridge and why he was visible to me. Later, as I searched through my belongings, I found a journal with a single entry dated for tonight. It was written in my own handwriting, but I had no recollection of writing it. And suddenly I found something which hit me even more. And guess what it was? Stay tuned for part 2 to uncover the chilling truth. But be warned, it may hit closer to home than you think.